Hello everyone, in this video I will be explaining an elementary school classroom in a slum in details. So let's start. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. These children, the children belonging to the slum area, the children who have come to receive education from the elementary school in a slum. Far, far, very far from the gusty waves, the energetic waves. The waves are energetic. The children are also energetic, but not the children from the slum area. The normal children, they are very energetic like the waves. But in this case, these children, their faces do not show that energy because they lack that energy. They have various restrictions in their life. So they are unlike the gusty waves, they are unlike the normal children who are filled with energy because these children lack energy. Like rootless weeds. So these children, the children from the slum area, they are compared with a simile to the rootless weeds. Weeds, we do not care for the weeds. We do not take any notice. They are unwanted, they are uncared. Like that, these children from the slum, they are very much like the weeds, uncared, unwanted. Rootless, because they do not have any ground to stand. They do not have that firmness attached, which we all are having. That root is not there in their case. The hair torn round their pallor, so the hair is unkempt. Their pallor, the pale, unhealthy appearance of their face. Their face is already pale and the hair is torn. The hair is unkempt. So that is actually denotes the fact that they are very uncared. They do not have that proper nutrition also. That's why they lack that healthy quality. The tall girl, now here the poet is actually giving 4 examples of 4 different students who are present there in the school classroom in that slum. First example is of a tall girl with her weighed down head. The head is weighed down. Though the girl is very tall, but the head is weighed down. And that shows, that tells us of the fact that maybe this girl is having various responsibilities. And that's why she is mentally, psychologically, physically exhausted. And that's why the head cannot take that weight, and her head is weighed down. The paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes. Have you seen any rat and the eyes? If you have, you might have noticed that it is very scared, it is very afraid. So using a metaphor, this small boy's eyes are compared to the rat's eyes, because that boy's eyes are also scared, showing that fear that is in the heart of that paper-seeming boy. Paper-seeming boy, obviously we can all understand that he is suffering due to malnutrition. So a metaphor has been found over here, because the eyes of that paper-seeming boy, the boy suffering due to malnutrition, is that eyes actually, they are very scared. The stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. There is another case. Apart from that tall girl and that paper seeming boy, there is another boy. That boy is not having proper growth, and that boy has been termed to be unlucky. Why? Because his father might be having a disease, and he has inherited that disease from his father, and that's why his bones are twisted. He is reciting his lesson from his desk, but to the poet, it seems that he is not only reciting the lesson from his desk but also reciting the father's gnarled disease. That means he is actually repeating the disease. So it is going to be continued generation after generation because they cannot go to the doctors, perhaps. There is no cure for them. They do not have that awareness as well. So he is reciting, rather, he is repeating the disease that his father is having. Now, there is a difference. That is, the poet has cited three examples: the tall girl, the paper seeming boy, as well as that unlucky boy who has inherited the disease from his father. From these three cases, there is a stark difference that can be noted in the fourth case, that is, one sweet boy. At the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet, and young. The back of the dim class, the class is not at all properly lit. So is their life. Their life is also dim, lacking brightness. So back of that dim class, what can be found? There is, or rather who can be found? There is one unnoted boy. The boy is not at all having some distinguished feature perhaps, but the boy is very sweet, very young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrels came in tree room other than this. So in this boy, we can actually find one reflection of Mukesh from Lost Spring. We have all read Lost Spring. If you have not, go through and we will be able to find that there is a kind of similarity between this boy and Mukesh. Both of them are dreamers. Both of them dream to achieve something that is not usual in their situation. Here, this boy is willing to enjoy his innocence by enjoying the squirrel's games, by enjoying his closeness to the nature. So, we find that though this entire stanza is telling us of the plight of the children of the slum, there is one dreamer, and we all know that if you are a dreamer, you have the ability to achieve something great. Maybe one day this dreamer, this young sweet boy who is enjoying or willing to enjoy the innocence, at least in his dreams, can actually achieve something great in his life. Coming to the next answer. On sour cream walls, donations. Some donations, they do come. But do they change the situation of the slum children? I guess no. So, on the cream walls, the color of the classroom, the classroom's walls, they are creamy and they have turned to be sour. So, life has turned to be acidic for them, not only the walls of that classroom. So, on those walls, which have turned out to be acidic, donations are hung. Shakespeare's head, maybe Shakespeare's that picture is pasted over there on the wall. Cloudless at dawn, civilized dome writing all cities. Maybe there is another picture which is showing the cloudless sky, the blue sky, and civilized domes which are around that place. Belled flowery Tyrolese Valley. There might be another picture which is showing the Tyrolese Valley, which is having the flowers all around the bell tower present there. All these things, the three pictures, maybe there are a few more, but these three pictures which are cited here do not actually show the situation, real situation of these children, because Shakespeare, what he has written, those things cannot be real for the slum children. He has always written about the upper class people. Whenever these children go through Shakespeare, they will not be able to connect. Whenever they will be finding civilized home, they will be having this question in their mind that if that is civilized, are we uncivilized? Because that clear blue sky is never present there. They cannot enjoy that nature, they cannot taste nature, and at the same time, the civilized home, those things can never be found in their area. So they have this question in their mind that if this is civilization, then what about us? Belled flowery Tyrolese Valley, the Tyrolese Valley that is filled with flowers, but in their life in their slum, there hardly any flower grows. Open-handed map awarding the world its world. There is another picture, that is the map, the world map, that is also there on the wall. The map seems to be very generous. Generally, all the maps, world maps, they are generous. They give us the idea that, see, I am like this, the map says. I'm having so many places all around me, and you can actually view, you can go to those places, explore those beautiful places. Now, at this point of time, we can find that the open handed map, the generous map, is actually awarding the world. That means us. We belong to the world, the world. We are awarded with the world map. We are awarded with the view of the entire world. We, the world, are awarded with the view of the entire world by the world map. But these children, when they find this world map, they will be questioning that if there are so many places to visit, then why our life is restricted inside this cocoon, inside this slum. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, these windows refer to the windows of the classroom. If they try to view from the windows the outside world, they will be finding that it is gloomy, only slum areas all around, the claustrophobic nature, the sky is not at all visible, there are so dusty areas all around, maybe the lanes are very filled with filth. So all these things they can see from their window. So that's why the poet is telling that this world map is not at all their world, showing them their world. Their world they can see not through the map, but from the window of the classroom. That is their real world, where all their future is painted with a fog. So here we find a metaphor. Their future is actually very hazy, like a fog. You cannot see through a fog, it's very hazy. Just like that, after they try to after they get some kind of awareness, or after they get some kind of knowledge, if they want to know what is lying there in the future, they will be finding it to be very foggy. It is unclear, it is uncertain, nothing is clear for them. So from their window their future is painted and everything is so foggy, because outside world, that the world that they can see from their window is also foggy, very hazy, because maybe of dust, maybe of smoke, maybe of various reason it is not clear. Just like that, their world, their future is also very hazy. A narrow street sealed in with a lead sky. Sky generally opens up horizons, opens up various possibilities for us, but this particular sky is appearing to be a lid, the covering which closes their future, their life. From their window, they can see a narrow street. The narrow street is leading to a sky, but the sky is actually acting as a lead, not opening up horizon, rather blocking their way from going outside, rather restricting their ways. So this lead sky is a metaphor, a case of metaphor, and it is also acting as a, because it is acting as a covering, which is closing their future, which is restricting their views. Far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of worlds. So their world is actually detached from the rivers, from the stars, from the capes that they have read in the books they have heard. Those things which were written, those words which tell them that there are rivers, there are capes, there are stars, those things they cannot see, they cannot witness. So from those things, their life is far away. Now coming to the third stanza. Surely, Shakespeare is wicked, a case of alliteration. Surely, Shakespeare, that thing is a case of alliteration. Shakespeare seems to be wicked. Is he really wicked? No. But Shakespeare is wicked for these children because I have told you earlier that Shakespeare has always written about the upper class society, the gentry class, about the kings and queens. He has never touched upon the lives of the normal, the common people. That's why whenever they get to read Shakespeare, they will not be able to connect to those writings. They will not be able to connect to those characters. They will be thinking that it is very, how is it possible to become so rich and enjoy the life like that, or have such a grand life. So that's why Shakespeare seems to be wicked, because Shakespeare, to this person, to this person's writing, they cannot connect. The map, a bad example. Obviously the world map seems to be a bad example, because their world map is not at all the world map that is depicted there. Rather, their world is very much limited inside the slum. So the world map becomes a bad example for them. With ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. Ships, voyages, sun, love, everything that is present in Shakespeare, everything that is present in the world map, those things are unattainable for them. So whenever they get to see all those things, whenever they get to read about all those things, they will be having this mindset that if we are not able to get that in a normal way, then why not adopt some unfair means, so that can actually instigate them to steal those things or create kind of criminal bent of mind inside them. For lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless nights. So their life is inside the cramped holes, and they continue to remain there forever. So their life starts, and after it starts, they find that it is foggy, their future is foggy. In fact, when they end their life, till that time it remains inside that darkness, inside that cramped hole, inside that slum. So from fog to endless night. So during the starting it is hazy. At the end it becomes totally dark, and the darkness continues to stay in their life. At least during the childhood period, they get to find that it is hazy, but as they grow older and older, they find that the darkness never ends. It continues to be like that till their death. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones. So these children, their life always find the means of survival in the waste, in the slag heap. These children are cases of malnutrition, and that's why their skins peep through by bones. Don't have flesh, perhaps that much. The skins, through that their wounds are visible. Surely it's a case of malnutrition. Spectacles of steel with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. Here I want to explain this particular portion. Spectacles of steel, I find that steel is a very hard substance, and their life is also made of very hard substance. And spectacle is actually the view. When they view their world is, their life is filled with hardship, like the steel. And it is the spectacle that they are wearing, not this type of spectacle, but the view that they are having of their life, it is broken, it is having mended glass. If I'm wearing this spectacle and it is of mended glass, I will not be able to see, I will not be able to view the thing in front of me in a proper manner. It will be coming in a distorted form to me. Just like that, if these children, they are finding the life to be hard, and if they are wearing this view, uh, the spectacles that is of mended glass, then life becomes distorted, comes in a fragmented form. So life for them comes in a fragmented form, in a distorted form. They cannot view the life entirely. They can get to see that it is very broken, because their life is actually broken. Their life is just like that steel, it's filled with hardship. Like bottle bits on stones. Stone is their life. It's a hard place. If we drop a bottle, it will be broken. On the stone, if we drop a bottle, it will be broken. Just like that, their life is thrown, thrashed upon something that is very hard, the hardships of life, and they have been broken like that bottle bits, broken into pieces. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so plot their maps with slums as big as two. So their time, their space, everything is filled with fog, everything is filled with slum. So the poet is urging the people to blot their world map with slums as big as doom. The simile is to be noted. Their world is compared to the doom, because doom is that end of life. Whenever they are born in slum, that means it is the end of life, because there is no growth. Their life is nipped in the bud only. Their life is nipped in the bud, and that's why their life is compared to that doom. It is as big as doom. So the poet is urging us to blot their maps with slums, so that when they get to see the world map, they will be able to find those blots which are the slums. Otherwise, the slums are never mentioned in the world map, because we don't consider that to be something worth notifying. That's why the slums are blots only, unwanted. So the poet is urging that these children should be shown the reality. By blotting their maps with slums, we will be able to show them the reality, because the children should not have this kind of notion that the world map is something which is not attainable, because the world map is there. They are also the part of that world map. Only the fact is they live in that particular slum, which are like blots, unwanted for the society. Unless, coming to the fourth stanza, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Now, unless visitor, governor, inspector, the people who are having some responsibilities in society, they take the action, these children's lives will never change. These children will always remain like this. So, in the fourth stanza, the poet is showing some kind of optimism, because he wants these children's world to be changed, and that's why he wants us to take initiative. Otherwise, this map refers to the map that is having some blots. So blot their maps, that map with the blot, that particular map becomes their window. That is their window. Whenever they open their window, they will be able to see those blots only. These windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. The catacombs are the underground graves. So these windows, that means that particular blotted maps, those maps that will act like the graves lids, so their life will come to an end before it would start. Break, oh break open till they break the town. The poet is urging us to break that barrier, to give them the chance to mix with the rest of the society, to give them the education free, to give them the nature. Till they break open the town, if we don't break this barrier, if we create this gap, if we continue to make this gap remain alive in that situation, they will break the town. There might be revolt. And show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands. Show them the green fields, the blue sky, and the gold sands, everything that is present in nature, everything that is a bliss. Give them the bliss of nature. Let their tongues run naked into books. That means they should be given the opportunity to taste education free of cost. They should be given the chance to enjoy education without any restriction, without any barrier. The white and green leaves open. The white leaves refer to the leaves of the books, the green leaves refer to nature. Both the things should be open for the innocent children. Otherwise, it becomes difficult for them to survive, to help them, their upliftment. History theirs, whose language is the sun. We all know sun is the creator of life. And if they are given education and nature, the bliss of nature, the bliss of education, they will be able to create history. And they will be able to create something like the sun. When they will be able to create something like the sun, they will be able to change their future. They will be able to create history by changing the fate of the slum, by changing the fate of the slum children altogether. So here ends my explanation, and some questions are given to you for reference. Thank you.